Welcome to the Fantasy and Frames of Rookie Prospect Profile Series, where we're breaking down the 2023 rookie class to find out which rookies should be on your Dynasty team. I'm Stacy Perez, and you can find me on Twitter at Stacy_83. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, like our content on social media, where you can find us everywhere for more awesome fantasy football content. Now, let me introduce you to our player for today. That would be sophomore quarterback, potentially phenom, Anthony Richardson, University of Florida. Richardson comes in at 6'4", 244 pounds. He is huge. That's an understatement, okay? He threw for 2,549 yards last year, threw for 17 touchdowns. Not only that, but the guy rushed for over 713 yards, and he scored 9 rushing touchdowns. In his career, he's rushed for over 1,000 yards and had 12 rushing touchdowns. Just an amazing talent, dual threat guy, okay? He literally broke every record at the combine, and his NFL athleticism score is 99%. He's ranked first overall in every combine category for quarterbacks. So here's the question. Is he the next generational talent at quarterback? Let's make the case for yes. So you want to go out and get a quarterback who can do both, right? Who can run and who can throw. And not only can Richardson do both of those things, but the guy's built like a tight end and he is freakishly fast. He ran a 4.43 40 at the combine. Speaking of tight ends, the fastest tight end of this group only ran a 4.59 40. Richardson can move, right? His max speed is 21.6 miles per hour. If he gets going in the open field, forget it. He's a problem. If you do catch up to him, right, what's probably going to happen is that you're going to get a stiff arm in the face, right? You're not going to be able to tackle the guy. Well, speaking of bringing him down, if you are able to tackle him, it only happened 13 times last season. So out of the quarterbacks who got sacked more than Richardson, we've got Tanner McKee, 40 sacks, most out of all. Yikes. Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Bryce Young. If those names sound familiar, it's because that's the top group of quarterbacks, with the exception of Tanner McKee, that are coming out of this group this year. Now, of that top group, we're missing somebody, right? CJ Stroud. He got sacked 10 times, so not much less than what Richardson did. So you're probably saying, why are his production numbers so much lower when you compare him to these other quarterbacks? Well, there's a few reasons for that. Number one, the Gators were not the best offense this year, all right? Not the best versions of themselves. Their team only had 6 wins, and they were towards the bottom of the SEC in their rankings. UF scored 47 touchdowns last year total for their entire offense, and of that 47, Richardson either threw or ran for 26 of those touchdowns. So he was responsible for more than half of their total touchdown production last season. He was basically their entire offense. This guy has got loads of raw talent. He's like a diamond in the rough. He just needs a little polishing. And, hopefully he'll land in the right spot that can make him shine. We'll get to that a little bit later. Now, if you're already down on Richardson and you're looking for another reason to not have him among your top picks, I'll make the case for you with that. Now, Exhibit A, the Georgia game. Georgia won 42-20. And I point out this game in particular because Richardson is typically a man amongst boys. So the closest thing to seeing him play against an NFL caliber defense, in my mind, was going to be the exceptional guys over on the Georgia defense. So at that game, Richardson completed 18 for 38 passing attempts. He threw for 271 yards and only scored 1 touchdown. In addition, he took 2 sacks that game. The Georgia defense definitely got after Richardson. His throws seemed rushed and off target. And I know, he threw for 271 yards, but when you watch that film, you can see that he had to work for every single yard he got. And even then, he only came away with 1 touchdown. He's also got limited starting experience. He's only started 13 games in his college career. Who else has only started a few games in their careers? would be Trey Lance, right? And the jury's still out on him. So Richardson's got such a strong arm that sometimes it seems like he's purely relying on that strength, which could be the cause of some of those 9 interceptions that he had this season. And the last negative stat that I'm going to give you comes from ESPN. Okay. There's only been 4 other first round quarterbacks with a lower completion percentage than Anthony Richardson. His percentage is 54.7. Those 4 other guys, Kyle Bowler, Ryan Leaf, Jim Drucker, Jake Locker. Yeah, not great. So, potential teams, where could he land? Who's going to be the winner of the Anthony Richardson lottery? Okay. Who knows? No one knows at this point. This is the Monday before draft day. I have seen him mocked all over the place, from the Colts to Seattle to the Raiders to the Falcons to the Vikings, Titans, and the Bucks, and probably a ton of other teams. But wherever he lands, in order to be a success, Richardson is going to have the right team around him, the right coaches who can develop him, fix those weaknesses, fix those accuracy problems, and really give him the attention he needs to develop into a star in this league. And if he does, he is going to be one of the most exciting players to watch from this year's class. This is a fantasy podcast, so let's talk some fantasy. I see this going in 2 directions for our fantasy teams. If he ends up on a team where he's going to be a starter right off the bat, you're going to have to beware of the YOLO, right? That YOLO potential, 30 touchdown, 30 interception kind of thing, where you're going to have to take the good with the bad. You just are. It could be a lot of fun to watch, though. And if he ends up in a backup role and your team has the ability to hang on to him, put him on the bench for a little while, see how he develops, you may end up with a golden ticket that could pay out for years to come. For more in-depth rookie analysis, remember to check out our content here on Fantasy and Frames, on our website, on our YouTube channel, everywhere on social media. If you like what you heard, give us a like, a share, a follow. Guys, I'm Stacy Perez. You can find me on Twitter at Stacy_83. Until next time.